What is going on, everyone? My name is Thomas Minert. I'm an agent at Remax Precision. I am part of the Sphere Real Estate Group, and this is Thomas Talks on Thursday. It is a live stream that I do weekly to talk to you guys about real estate, what's going on in Des Moines, and most importantly, talk about what you guys are interested in. Every week, I will post to get questions from you guys, things that you guys are interested in hearing me talk about, hearing my opinions on, hearing some facts about, and I will answer them on this live stream. If you didn't comment on that post, it's fine. You can comment on the video right now, and I will answer those questions live as best as I can. So let's get in on the fun. I saw an interesting article that highlighted something that I like to talk to buyers about. So I wanted to pull it up and kind of show you guys. This article was talking about, I'm actually going to go back to this view. Yeah. Talks about costly surprise home repairs. And these are the kind of things that I'm always thinking about with buyers buying a first time home, because anyone could basically walk through a home and tell me whether it's good enough for them cosmetic wise. Is this move in ready? Is there any cosmetic projects that I would want to do before moving in? That stuff is all fairly obvious, but what you need to make sure is you have a buyer's agent doing due diligence to answer a few questions before going to see the home. Once you get an accepted offer, you need to have a good inspection that's going to be looking at these types of things to be prepared for those unexpected expensive costs that could come up. So these were the 6 most common surprise repairs that come up for homeowners. And it kind of gave some rough estimates of how much those things cost. And I just wanted to highlight them really quick because this is a really good checklist of just things that we could visually, some of these you can't, but have a good idea of. So I was going to run through them. A roof is a pretty obvious one. This is one of the questions I like to answer for a buyer before they even go look at the home. If possible, I like to know how old the roof is. Knowing how old the roof is or when the last repair has been done can help out with getting insurance quotes, because if the roof is older than 15 years, it does affect your insurance. And if the seller doesn't have any proof that it is younger than 15 years, it's going to affect your insurance. Also, replacing a roof is fairly expensive if you have to pay out of pocket and it's not covered by insurance. This $8,000 to $13,000 estimate seems honestly, depends on how big your roof is, but honestly seems kind of low. Foundation issues. This is one can show up in the seller's disclosure. If the seller discloses that they've had any issues of water in the past, that could sometimes be an indicator of foundation issues. Honestly, a lot of the time visually, you could just kind of tell. Sometimes some corners settle, whatever exposed foundation wall we have in the basement, we can look at. We can look for long horizontal cracks that might be a sign of shifting to come. And then obviously, if there's signs that water has been in the basement, sometimes you can visually see those as well. A foundation issue is one that, unless the buyer is extremely experienced with that type of thing, it's a very reasonable reason to walk away from a house if you're concerned about the foundation, or to get a further inspection before even offering on the house to get an idea of what kind of project you're getting into, or if it's not even an issue at all. But it's definitely one of those very reasonable things to just go ahead and put that home on the do not buy list, because you don't have experience with fixing foundation issues. They can get very, very expensive. HVAC, they put $5,000 to $5,000. That's really, really funny. But it's a pretty good estimate. If you have to replace both your AC and your furnace, that sounds about right. Unless you get some sort of deal. HVAC is another one I like to either visually look at the model that is there and give the buyers an idea of how old the system is. And a lot of times that'll be in the seller's disclosure too, is when the last HVAC repair was. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Sewer line replacement. This is one that we don't really know. But if it's an older house, honestly, on pretty much every house, I recommend buyers get sewer line, a scope down there to see what kind of shape the sewer line is in, because One, it puts you in a really bad situation if your sewer line does back up or has any issues. It's not fun because it's probably going to damage other parts of your house, and just not be a good time. This estimate seems pretty high. The last sewer line replacement I had to do was $8,000 to $9,000. Shorter sewer line, but that was a full replacement as well. But it's definitely something to be aware of before closing on the house. Plumbing, there's very, very small plumbing issues, and then there's very, very expensive plumbing issues. But it's definitely something that you want to make sure your inspector is looking at. Water is the enemy of the house. So making sure water is staying away from the house and making sure you don't have any plumbing issues that are putting water in unexpected areas is really, really important. One of the things I'm kind of surprised wasn't on this list is discovering an issue with electric. I'm seeing a lot of older panels lately that I know are potential issues, and I'm talking to buyers about that before they offer on the house. Um, but electric can be very, very expensive, especially if the project has to be intrusive, so to speak. So electric is one that common, and then termites. Termite inspection is automatically written into all of our purchase agreements, but it's really, really important to see if there's any signs of termites, and then if there's a lot of signs of termites, you need to get a structural engineer out there to fix the damage that the termites have done. I will say for any of you homeowners right now, it is not a bad idea to just do preventative for termites, because if termites get into the house and start causing damage, it's not fun to repair. So making sure termites are not getting into your house is really, really good. So hopefully, and if you want me to send you this graphic or just talk to me about what I normally do when walking sellers through houses, don't be afraid to reach out or comment. And I will kind of talk to you about that, because we don't want people to get into a house and have a big surprise really quickly after purchasing a house. And knowing about all of these potential expensive things is one of the most important parts of having surprises. Another thing you can do, it won't really mitigate these big ticket items, except for maybe HVAC, is look into offering with a home warranty and having the seller pay for it. If you have a home warranty, it can really mitigate some of those upfront costs of making repairs or replacements on any appliance that's in the house that's not covered by insurance. So, for example, if within a year your dishwasher, fridge, HVAC, washer, dryer have any issues, the home warranty company, all you're basically paying is the fee for the tech to come out there, make an assessment of what's wrong, and then work with home warranty company on what they want to do to either fix or replace it. Sometimes if it has to be replaced, there's an extra fee that has to be paid, but it's normally quite a bit less than what you would have to pay if you didn't have a home warranty. I just met up with a seller that's potentially thinking about listing their place, and they used the home warranty a ton the first year that they purchased the house, so much so that they thought it was worth it, that they had been continuously updating the home warranty because they're getting their money back on it. So that's something to think about, is looking into a home warranty. So now let's get into the follower questions. A lot of people were asking questions about upgrades today, which is awesome because I love to talk to people about putting in upgrades. Mike McConkey commented saying, how much money should I put into a summer kitchen? What I'm assuming he's referring to is like an outside cooking kitchen. This is going to depend. I'm not going to give a dollar amount, but I will say a summer kitchen is a very, very niche upgrade that not a lot of buyers are looking for. So if you are thinking about doing it just to appeal to buyers when you are selling the house, I would consider not doing it at all. If you are looking to do it just so you enjoy the house more, I definitely think that's a good idea. But I wouldn't put a crazy amount of money into it. I would basically spend the least amount of money possible that you'll be happy with, basically. would be kind of my goal with that. I think summer kitchens are really, really cool, but it starts to put you into kind of a price point where hopefully you're a luxury listing, because it's an upgrade that a lot of first time home buyers won't pay for. And it'll kind of just price your home out of the market for potential first time home buyers, because I would guess for a summer kitchen, you're probably spending $8,000 to $10,000, and you're gonna want to see that money back, and you might not necessarily get it. So, something to think about. My father, as always, is a top fan, as you can see right there. And he said, discuss and prioritize 3 potential home upgrades: bathroom, bedroom, furnace, central air. What should you do first, second, and third? All right, so let's think this. I think it depends on the situation. I know the situation my dad is in, but I'm going to generalize this so it's valuable for everyone. I would think about, does my home, if your home already has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, I would prioritize the central air and the furnace. If your home doesn't have that, I would almost prioritize the bathroom and bedroom first. And honestly, I'd prioritize the bathroom before the bedroom, unless you're sitting at just 1 bedroom, then I would have the bedroom ranked first. So hopefully that makes sense. But in general, every additional bedroom and bathroom that you're adding to a house becomes less valuable the more you add, because there's a certain point where it's just overkill, right? So, like, if you're taking a 3 bed, 1 bath house and adding a bathroom, that bathroom is extremely valuable to buyers. Any buyer that's looking at a 3 bedroom house probably has 4 people living in it, probably 2 adults and 2 kids, and 4 people sharing 1 bathroom is a pain. So adding that bathroom adds a ton of value. Now, if you're looking at a 2 bed, 2 bath house, adding that bedroom adds more value than adding a bathroom, because if you already have the 2 baths, there's probably a lot of people that would want that house if it had another bedroom, because it has one more spot for people to sleep, or it puts you in a situation where kids don't have to share a bedroom potentially. The bedroom all of a sudden becomes way more valuable. The furnace and central air is tricky. Um, if you have, for example, like a window unit or a mini split, especially, upgrading from central air from a mini split, I don't see as that big of an upgrade. But if you have a window unit that just struggles to keep up, upgrading to central air is a huge upgrade. But I will be totally honest, furnace and central air are kind of becoming the standard. It's very common that you see a house heated by anything other than a furnace. So if you don't have one, there's just so many buyers in the market that won't even look at your house. So I might possibly be underrating the furnace and central air. So maybe now that I'm talking through it, I think the furnace and central air is going to be most important no matter what. But that really, really depends on what you're currently doing to heat or cool your house. So maybe split those up. I think the furnace would be most important, and then the bathroom, bedroom would be second/third, depending on what your current house looks like, and then central air would be last. But the central air could bump up depending on what you're currently using to cool the house. Is it expensive, or is it inadequate to actually cool the house? Would be the answer. Landon Buckman commented in saying, to piggyback off of the handsome and brilliant Tim Miner, I agree with the handsome, but the brilliant, I don't know if I agree with. But to piggyback off of that, what is the most common thing you see people spending time, money on when they're preparing to sell their house that is a waste or has very little impact on the sale value of their home. I would really, really look at, before you're thinking about doing any upgrades specifically to list, what your neighborhood's inventory currently looks like and make sure you're not over upgrading for the neighborhood, because that's the biggest waste of time. And that potentially will put you in a situation where you're trying to sell the most expensive house in the neighborhood, and that always puts sellers in a bad spot. So that's what I would look at. A lot of times, what that looks like is bathroom and kitchen remodels, and then maybe backyard remodels, like doing like a really cool patio deck, which a lot of times you see that because people want that, and that's totally fine. But if you're doing it specifically to sell the house, it's not going to make as big of an impact as just making sure your backyard is clean and well maintained. And then same thing with kitchen, like you're thinking about putting in a granite or quartz countertop when no one in your neighborhood has a granite or quartz countertop, or doing new cabinets with awesome soft close and stuff like that when no one in your neighborhood has that. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're over upgrading. The projects that get a huge return are just decluttering, deep cleaning, fresh paint, and fresh flooring. Those always get a huge return. They make odors go away. They make the house seem really, really clean and well maintained. And they're normally not that expensive for how much fresher it can make the house look, if that makes sense. So this was kind of a quick episode. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it live, please comment, and I will answer your questions on the next episode. I appreciate everyone watching. These live streams are one of the best parts of my week. So I really, really enjoy how engaged everyone is and how much people are checking in to see what I'm talking about. It's really, really appreciated. Have a great weekend and stay dry. There's just been so much rain. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching.